So both of these are Hobie Pro Angler 14s. This one's a 360 XR. This one is a standard 360, so this is a little bit older boat. This one's a 24. Neither one is the brand new one that has the motor mounts in the back, as you can see. So both of these, if you're going to run a motor on them, you have to adapt them in some fashion. They're running the same drive. Pete's got a couple custom mods on his. Put another piece of hull there to reinforce the seat where they were having cracking issues if you flop down on them too hard. And the other thing he's got here is a custom skeg up front where there's actually a piece of another boat welded on there, so to strengthen the front skeg, and that's a pretty good deal. Mine's running the basic Rowcraft, which I didn't do a great job of gluing on there. Anyway, so one of the things you don't get with the 25 that you do get with the 24s and older is you get the front bucket in the in the front end here. They did that for a number of reasons. I think it has to do with forward-facing electronics, but what we've got going here is the Hobie battery kit that mounts to that sail, the sail mast there, and it snaps in. That is a 15 amp hour amped battery. Pete's running a 10 amp hour Dakota lithium, but it gets the fish finder battery out of the way. So then that just runs through the hull, comes out on a through hull plug there, and goes to the fish finder. So obviously I do not have the drive in this. Both Pete and I are running the Yak Attack Panfish Pro up front, off the front H-rail, or not H-rail, but gear track. And that seems to work pretty well. Mine, I keep an ergo-neil pad in it because it's got some, you know, the hull itself doesn't have a bunch of padding, and I just can't get on my knees, so I keep that ergo-neil in there, move it around where I need it. So one of the big differences between the two is the rod holder. So I've got a rod holder set up to go this way across to my main rod, the bonus rod out that side. It's usually a spinning rod. And then I've got my fish finder in the back. I just find it easier to reach there. It does obstruct that rod holder a little bit, but I'm reaching around to the outside to get to that spinning rod when I'm using it. This unit's a Humminbird Helix 7 G4N MSI, I think. So it's got mega side scan, mega down scan, lake maps, all the rest of that stuff. It was not a cheap unit, and frankly it's too big for this boat. If I was going to do it again, I probably wouldn't get all that shit, and I wouldn't get a fish finder that big. And we'll look at Pete's here in a minute. I've got a tackle tray there that just takes odds and ends thrown in there. Got the whistle on the boat and the snips, and then a pair of pliers that I use all the time, and then a cup holder on that side. Those rod holders back there, I set that rod up in there when I'm getting ready to take off from the dock. I don't really use it during the day because they're behind you and you can't reach them. Same with the net. I'll pull that net out of there and pull it up front. The downrigger, I'm just using a regular Scotty lake troller, as is Pete. He's got his set up right there. It's on an H-rail mount and just goes over the side there. I keep a couple of leader reels in here, and obviously you've seen the tackle storage with the Pro Angler, which is pretty handy. I didn't think I'd like it when I first saw it, but it is super handy and I love it. The other thing I didn't think I'd like, that I thought was stupid, was those horizontal rod holders. Those things are awesome. I can keep the rods in the boat all the time. They travel there. Everything's cool about that. Now this is a custom thing that Pete made, and it's an adapter from an H-rail, and it's actually attached to this piece here, which is the chunk that actually goes down in that well right there. So he's got one of those on his boat. I got one on my boat. Takes two 3600 boxes very conveniently. So I've got two 3600 boxes here, two in that tackle storage, one more under the seat, and then I've got a 3700 with a leader board where I keep wrapped up spinners, flies, things like that that have their own leader. Back here I'm just packing the standard wheels. It's a Yak Attack black pack. Got my camera gear in there, a couple odds and ends for fishing gear. I do have a spare battery on the boat if I need to swap it out, so that's a 10 amp hour Dakota. And that'll also run USBs and stuff like that to charge things on the water. And that is pretty much it for this boat. So over here, very similar setup. He's running a little different downrigger weight. That's a sash weight off of a window. But he's using the same rod storage, similar tackle storage there and there. He's got the Yak Attack Black Pack back here. Similar setups here. Mine is elevated. This one is elevated so I can reach it easier. He's got his mounted outboard. I haven't tried that yet, but I might. And then his setup over here, he's got his graph in the middle of all that. Let's go around and take a look at it. So this is a Garmin Striker 5, and it doesn't have internal mapping cards, but what it does allow you to do is do quick maps where you can draw the maps as you scan over areas in the lake. And he was using that yesterday at Haven Lake. Much better size of fish finder, I think. And personally, it's probably got all the features I really need. If I was going to do it again, I would not buy that one. I would buy this one or something similar in Hummingbird's line, because it just seems more functional to me for what I use it for. Pete's running the different camera there, and he's got it wired up to a battery pack and all that because he films a little differently than I do. But that's what he's running, and he's got his graph in between the two rod holders. Gives him better access to the rod holders. Still got good access to the fish finder. I'm still tinkering with mine. I may rearrange a little bit. If you notice, his is further back toward him here than mine is over there. So he doesn't have the reach issues and the reach problems that I have. And all of it revolves around that little tackle box that tackle tray that he's got mounted down and I have mounted up. But on my reel, it takes up a lot of space. If I move that somewhere or change its orientation, I could move all that other stuff back and maybe get a little better setup. Like I said, still tinkering with it. I'm running an extendable Ego net. You don't really need the super reach, but I like it for filming because you can stick the camera right down in the water. Pete's running his standard net here. I don't know what brand it is, but it's a soft net as well. And then he's got camera gear in the back. Other than that, I think they're pretty much set up the same. Boat's a little bit older than that one. They're both fishing about the same, and they're great fishing platforms. Pete, you got anything you want to add?
No, just really stable platform and really a pleasure to fish out of. Not exactly a lot of fun to load in and out of the back of a pickup truck.
Yes, they are super heavy. That's the thing. I wish there was a better trade-off, but man, they are heavy. Oh, he's got anchor trolleys up on the front too. So this boat was actually used by somebody else before he picked it up. And I've never found the need personally to anchor, but somebody did. And then there was one other thing I was going to mention here. Oh, kayak cushions. We're both running kayak cushions on that Hobie seat. The Hobie seat itself is very comfortable, but I like a little extra cushioning underneath of me. That obviously is Kayak Cushion brand, and we found them to be very comfortable and very useful. So that's kind of what we're up to out here at the lake today. We're going to shoot a little bit of video for you guys. As you can see, it's super busy here. We're the only people on the lake today, so we're going to get out on the water and see what we can pick up for you guys, and hopefully we'll have enough to make a video out of it.